Recording in progress. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tamara Blake Wallace, Planning Commission Administrator. This meeting will be conducted as a hybrid meeting, allowing for both virtual and in-person participation. Serving as moderator for tonight is Jennifer David, standing in for our Planning Commission Development Review Coordinator, who will now go over the rules of etiquette for this meeting. Jennifer?
Thank you. Good evening. I am Jennifer David, Rural Planner for the Calvert County Department of Planning and Zoning, and I will be acting as moderator for this evening. This meeting is being recorded both on video and audio for record-keeping purposes. For those attending virtually or on your phone, please keep yourself muted to ensure no interruptions to the evening. If asked to speak and you are attending on your phone, you can mute and unmute yourself by using the phone's designated mute button or by pressing *6. If you are on a computer, you can mute and unmute yourself by clicking on the microphone/mute button on the toolbar in the bottom left of your screen. You can also mute and unmute by using keyboard shortcuts. For Windows, press Alt-A, and on a Mac, press Command-Shift-A. When questions or comments are requested of the public, those attending in person will be asked to speak first, and those attending virtually will speak after. If you are attending via phone and would like to ask a question or make a comment, when asked, please use the raised hand function, *9, and you will be called upon in turn to identify yourself for the record and speak. If you are attending virtually and would like to ask a question or make a comment, please go to the chat icon on your Zoom page and type your comment into that section. And finally, please say your name every time you speak for the benefit of those calling in who cannot see you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I will now turn the floor over to the PC Chair to call the meeting to order.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Calvert County Planning Commission's November 16th, 2022 regular meeting. My name is Maria Bueller, and as chair of the board, I will begin this meeting with item 1 on the proposed agenda. Roll call. Vice Chair Kernan.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Freeland.
Here.
Commissioner Toohey.
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Holler.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Right, we have a quorum. If you would all please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is action on the proposed summary of actions. Item 4A. I'm sorry, let me back up. We will have the action on the proposed agenda. I'm sorry.
Commissioners, any changes on the proposed agenda?
There being none, motion to approve this evening's agenda.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kernan, seconded by Commissioner Toohey. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next on the agenda is action on the proposed summary of actions. Item 4A, the October 19th, 2022 regular meeting summary of actions.
Commissioners, any changes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kernan, seconded by Commissioner Toohey. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item is 4B, November 2nd, 2022 Planning Commission public hearing summary of actions.
Commissioners, any changes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Kernan, seconded by Commissioner Toohey. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next on the agenda is recognition of persons attending the meeting. Tonight, from the Department of Planning and Zoning, we have in attendance Mary Beth Cook, Director, Carolyn Sunderland, Deputy Director of Planning, Jenny Plummer Walker, Long Range Planner, Olivia Vedado, Planner 3, And we also have Jay Cousineau, Planner 2. And also with us tonight, we have John Mattingly serving as our legal counsel and Maureen Frederick serving as our recording clerk. Next on the agenda is applications for site plan review and action. We have item 6A, CSPR 142755, Armory Towns, Townhouses, Tax Map 24, Parcel 710 and 105, Prince Frederick Town Center, Old Town Transition District. It's for a conceptual site plan, and Olivia Vedada will be presenting tonight.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So this project is the conceptual site plan for Armory Town's townhouses. In the next few months, you will also have the preliminary presented before you as well, but tonight it's the conceptual site plan. So this property is located in Prince Frederick. It has frontage on Armory Road. It's in the Prince Frederick Town Center in the Old Town Transition District, and the project is permitted in that district. If you could go to the next slide, please. This shows you, if you see the blue outline, where the site is. This is on Armory Road if you were traveling north, right before Fairgrounds Road on the west side. Go to the next slide, please. And again, the outline in blue, and you can see that there are two structures on there. They are both ruins that will be torn down. And then the next slide, please. Thank you. This is the site plan. The site consists of 0.85 acres, and the concept proposal is for 9 townhouses, which will require transfer development rights. The open space requirement for 9 units is 0.05 acres per unit for a total of 19,620 square feet. Per the ordinance, fees in lieu may be paid if the requirement for the 2,180 square feet of common open space per unit results in an open space dedication of more than 15% of the total site, and if all provisions for the active recreation area and facilities that are listed have been met. The applicant may opt to pay fees in lieu of the additional open space acreage at an initial rate of $1,250 per unit for a total of $11,250. The applicant is requesting to pay the fees in lieu as the 19,620 square feet requirement does exceed the 15% of the total site, which is 5,553.9 square feet. As shown below, you can see that the recreation area requirements are not only being met, but they are exceeding the minimum requirements. As I mentioned on the previous slide, there are ruins on the property. It's of a house and a shed. The applicant has contracted services to document those structures on the property that will be demolished. Per the Prince Frederick Town Center Master Plan and Zoning Ordinance, under exceptions, setbacks may be reduced to a minimum of 25 feet from the edge of curb along all collector roads, Armory Road being one of those, and the applicant is requesting a reduction to 25 feet for the front setback. Any outstanding comments from the conceptual site plan shall be addressed with a detailed site plan submittal. So the following agencies have reviewed the conceptual site plan and have either approved or provided comments to be addressed with a detailed site plan and are included for your review. Staff recommends approval of CSPR-142755, conceptual site plan for Armory Town's townhouses subject to the following conditions. The setbacks being reduced to 25 feet from the curb along Armory. They are requesting that, and if approved, that shall be shown on the detailed site plan as well as the preliminary plan and the final plat and noted with the approval date. The final subdivision plat shall be recorded prior to final site plan approval. The fees in lieu for the open space requirements shall be paid in full prior to final site plan signature and recording of the final plat and shall be noted on both. The requirements of the historic planner and documentation of the ruins shall be completed and approved prior to demolition of any structures and shall be noted on the detailed site plan and the final plat as well. Architectural approval is required and shall be noted on the detailed site plan. All items approved shall be noted with the date of approval. Any significant deviations between this concept plan and the detailed site plan with regard to layout, design, or standards, and a very long list of items that are there, will require resubmittal of a revised conceptual site plan for review and comment by the applicable agencies, and also reapproval by the Planning Commission before the detailed site development plan can move forward. Approval of CSPR-142755 by the Planning Commission shall constitute a conditional approval of the proposed development as to character, use intensity, and basic compliance with the applicable plans and ordinances, but does not guarantee final approval of the detailed site plan. Approval of the CSP application must be obtained prior to the submittal of the detailed site plan. All outstanding comments from concept review shall be addressed with the detailed site plan. The next steps for the Planning Commission for CSPR-142755, conceptual site plan for Armory Town's townhouses. The Planning Commission may consider one of the following options. 1, approval with the conditions as listed above as recommended by staff. 2, approval with modifications to conditions recommended by staff. 3, deferral if the Planning Commission requires additional information prior to action. Or 4, denial of the project, which would require the applicant to make significant changes and resubmit to the Planning and Zoning for agency review prior to consideration by the Planning Commission. Now, before you take any of those options, if you have any questions that I can answer, I'm happy to. The engineer for the project is also here.
Thank you, Olivia.
Olivia, the presentation that we were provided earlier, slide 2 and 3 are different from what you put up
They
this
are.
evening. So
They
for the record, this presentation is the correct presentation.
Yes, and I was going to mention that when they first came up. Sorry, I was making sure that they came up correctly. So the lines that I had shown that went out previously, they were just off, so I adjusted those to be correct. Small laptop, old eyes, what can I say?
Olivia, where's the parking here?
So the parking, based on the requirements, when you have garage with
Okay, there's
townhouses,
garage.
they are
Okay.
counted.
Uh-huh.
So you have the parking with the garage, the parking in front of the garage,
Okay,
and that meets the requirements.
okay, so there's the 2, and then we just
Yes.
have 2 other spots.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many square feet of living space will be provided for each lot?
I do not know that, and I believe the engineer may know that, but we can get that information if we don't have it here tonight.
They're 20 by 40.
Say your name.
20 by 40, that's what I thought. So, this is Jeff Martis with COA. The footprints are approximately 20 by 40. So, if you just take the total from each one, it's,
How many stories is it?
3 stories.
Okay, at the bottom has got the garage, so that's not part of it.
Yeah.
So you have 1,600, and then whatever's the residual downstairs?
Yeah.
Is there gonna be there'd be room for one room, I guess, in the back? Or?
Yeah. Yep. So we have the conceptual architectural of the facade, but we haven't done like the full footprint yet. So once we move further along in the process, that'll be part of the, what we have to get done at the architectural review. So.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I would like to move that we approve this project with the conditions provided.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tui. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Kernan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody has a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you
Thank
too.
you, you too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Olivia. Next on the agenda for long range is item 7A, Calvert County Comprehensive Plan Proposed Amendments, Reduction of Town Center Expansions.
Good evening, Commissioners. Jenny Plummer-Welker, Long Range Planner.
Good evening.
I'm here this evening to give you a very brief update on the status of the Calvert County Comprehensive Plan proposed amendments that would reduce or eliminate the future expansions for 4 of the town centers, Huntingtown, Prince Frederick, Solomons, and Lusby. You received my memo dated November 4th in advance of the meeting, and it included several attachments of comments that you previously received prior to the hearing, or the set of comments that you received at the hearing. And those included the comments that were received between October 15th and November 2nd, and then the ones that were received at the hearing. The Board of County Commissioners is scheduled to hold its public hearing on Tuesday, November 29th at 6:30 p.m. here at the Harriet Elizabeth Brown Community Center. That'll be their own hearing, followed by the joint public hearing for other items that night with you. People are welcome to attend the Board of County Commissioners public hearing either in person or virtually. Details on how to join virtually are on the county's website, along with details on how to submit comments. People can go to the county's website, www.calvertcountymd.gov/public hearings, and click on more details for the public hearing on November 29th for the comprehensive plan. There are actually 4 public hearings that day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. This update's for your information. There's no action needed for the Planning Commission this evening, but I'll be glad to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jenny. We'll move on to items of interest. Item 8A, adequate public facilities report for schools dated November 1st, 2022. And Jenny will be giving you information on that.
You received the report from November 1st. It was prepared by Jesse Clark, Planner 1 for Planning and Zoning. I would like to note there was a change from the report in the spring, and at that time we had 2 schools over 100% capacity, and with this report there's only 1 school over the 100% capacity. Northern High had been over capacity during the spring report, and now it's under capacity. I'd be glad to answer any questions if there are any.
I don't have a question, I just want to make an observation.
Certainly.
I think the public, when they look at this, should be aware that Mount Harmony has always been over capacity, not with residents from that area, but because of the policy of the school board to permit people from other areas to take their children there for convenience purposes. I have no problem with that, but I think when you look at this, if I didn't know that, I would wonder, well, that school's way overloaded. I wonder why the others, and when I did the arithmetic, 1 out of every 5 seats in the county's empty. And it's interesting to me that we have that policy. That's just an observation.
And that is a school board policy, correct?
Yes, it is. That's
Yes.
not our policy.
Jenny, is there a reason that Windy Hill Elementary was omitted from the first page?
The oversight.
It shows up back in the rest of the page.
And the later attachment. I apologize, I did not catch that. But Windy Hill Elementary is noted on, attachment 8, and it is at 82.1% capacity, including the student transfers. And without the student transfers, it's at 81% capacity. And the omission for the front page on attachment 1 is so noted. We'll make sure it's there in the spring. Thank you.
I think the scores are there, correct, but just the name is missing?
Correct.
Yeah, the numbers are all there.
If there's no further questions or comments, the next report will be the April 1st report for spring 2022. And I would like to recognize the assistance of the Calvert County Public School staff, in particular Suchita Warner, the Director of School Construction, is very helpful in providing the data for staff to prepare this report.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Next on the agenda for informational purposes, item 8B, site plan and subdivision application list. Are there any questions from the Planning Commission? Okay, hearing none, we'll go on to item 9, public comment. At this time, we will open the meeting for public comment according to Calvert County Ordinance Number 51-21. The Planning Commission Chair will first request comments from those attending in person, and then those attending virtually or by telephone. By telephone, you should call in advance, toll-free, at 888-475-4499. Meeting ID 858-5579-4151, and the passcode, if asked, is the #. Speakers, whether in person or participating by phone or virtually, will be limited to 2 minutes as individuals and 5 minutes if they are designated to represent a group or an organization. Is there anyone in person who would like to make any comments? Okay, if there's no one, is there anyone by Zoom or telephone that would like to make comments? I see any hands raised?
Giving it a minute. No, ma'am, no hands raised, and no comments in the chat.
Okay, then I will turn it back over to the chair.
All right, then the next item on the agenda is adjournment.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we adjourn.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tui. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Kernan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much for attending this meeting, and have a good evening.